Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all these sectors, topics, looking for potential investment opportunities, the ones that can really kick the portfolio into gear. If that interests you, we have a coupon code Mayday that is active. Get you 50% off the first month only on the monthly membership, and it gets you a larger discount on the yearly membership if you want to go for a year-long period. Let's dive in. Let's take a look and see what's going on. We've got the DXY here. That's where we normally start, and we've got some sideways trading action. So the dollar's been moving sideways. We've got, I don't know if this is a sideways action or if we're actually going to dive lower here. It does look like we're coming on up and are underneath resistance here. So it could potentially roll over. If we see a rollover, more than likely it's going to come from yields. So what we want to look for and look at are yields. 2-year yield, lower, down 0.8%. Now, is this the start of a new trend? I don't know if I'd go that far yet. Momentum is still to the upside, but we'll see if there's any follow-through with the trading action that we got today. The 10-year also a little bit lower. We do have a wick at the top, so there is some reversal-esque in this move. You can see kind of a toppage and then the move lower. You can also put a trend line in the short term breaking to the downside, and that's what I mean by a potential reversal. So we want to see follow through on this to see if it goes lower. If we get a move lower in yields, I think we'll see the dollar head lower as well. And then the 3rd-year was also lower. We do have a wick at the top, a little bit of selling pressure. We do have a little bit of a squeezing rising wedge going on too. We do have support underneath us, so we'll have to see what kind of follow through we get here over the next few weeks. TYX TNX ratio continuing to head a little bit lower, and that momentum is still in progress. And this relationship, generally when it goes up, gold and silver do really well. But gold and silver has been doing well even when this has been declining here. But that also might be just a continuation pattern to go higher. So gold may already know that, and that's what it's pricing in. Bond prices slightly higher today. It does look like we could potentially reverse and go up. And that's where this whole thing comes from. Bond prices could go up here. We could see yields go down, and we could see the dollar start to roll over. And they're all interconnected. They're all interconnected. We can throw a simple, maybe trend line here, saying that if we break that trend line, that most likely this stuff is reversed. Not reversing, but has reversed. The 2 and 10 yield here, yield curve, heading a little bit lower, so it's uninverting to some degree here. We're right at this trend line, and we'll see if we break through it or if we actually break down. If we break down, I think we're going to see yields drop. If we go up, then the yield curve is inverting, and it gives a little bit different dynamic to some of the assets. Gold's up $29. It's breaking out of this consolidation and heading higher. It looks fantastic. We're at $27.85. Silver up a little bit, up about 1.8%, looking good to try to work its way on up. And that's the way that I think we're going, is higher. We've got platinum, 1058, and starting to break through and turtle head out of our downtrend here. Looks fantastic. So momentum's up. We're starting to break through resistance. Let's see if it can keep that momentum going. And then palladium down about $10. It looks like it wants to pull back and do a retest of the breakup. So there's our resistance line. Break on out, and we could do a potential retest or return move wherever it ends up going. GDX up 1.55. We got GDXJ up 2.12, and these are falling wedges that are breaking to the upside. And SILJ, another falling wedge that's broken to the upside. Looks good to go higher. Could be a lot higher. Now, we've got some resistance up here. That's what we want to get above and finally break. And we could pause here at about 1650-ish. We've got XAU to gold ratio. It's heading higher, 0.5. And I do think we've got the long runway. Gold and silver mining companies could go up for a good while. Crude oil down 0.22%. Not much follow through here. We're back to support down here. I'm waiting for this thing to move to the upside. I do think that there is some pressure on this given the elections. And I did fill up gas yesterday, and gas was cheap, guys. I got it for $2.79. So we got to make it to November 5th, get past that, and then we'll see where crude oil's at. If the yield curve does uninvert and yields drop, we very well are exposed to further downside in crude oil in the short term, which I would say is a buying opportunity whenever that bottoms and starts to head on higher. There are people that are worried about potential false flag events and are projecting oil prices to go way lower. Is that a possibility? It's possible. I don't think it will stay down there if it does do that. But that's where we're at. We've got support underneath us, and that support is in the 55-60 range down there. TTF gas just working its way down a little bit today. Momentum still to the upside. We've got natural gas. Whenever they do these contract rollovers, it kind of hides what the natural gas price does, but we'll just leave it at that. XOP, yeah, you know me, we are still above the all-crucial support level, and we are in a falling kind of wedge pattern here. So we'll see if we break to the upside or if there's further downside in this. And there very well could be further downside. We could do one of these and do something where we come down to 118. We may even go to 94. That is still possible, and we come down like that and scribe out the similar situation over here to over here. OIH down 1.44%, getting a little bit of selling pressure. We're not quite back to this support level yet, so we're just been leaking off down here. To me, it doesn't look all that bad. We've got a decent up day and a selling pressure day that wasn't as strong. It's still holding in there. Newcastle coal futures, still underneath resistance, trying to break on out, and I think it'll break at any point. Just give it time. Sprothless Uranium Trust getting some stronger selling pressure. We haven't broken out of the flag pattern, and it's heading lower with that selling pressure today. We can also extend that guy out. It is still a big flag pattern, but we're still in the flag. Uranium futures pricing selling off a little bit, still looks fine. URA down a little bit, 1.15%, and we are still above support, and it still looks good to go higher from this patterns here that I see. We've got URNM also, a little bit more selling pressure. We got support right where we're at in that section there. URNJ down 3.37%, and we're coming back into that support region right underneath us. So that looks okay. Copper moving sideways, still looks good to go higher. Nothing really new there. We've got COPX still outside of the falling wedge. We could go sideways before heading up, but still looks good. And it is a downward facing pattern, which generally ends up going up. Iron ore, slightly lower. We're still in a really good location in this general location here, and it might take some time to get out of it, but that's the Livermore accumulation cylinder. Looks good to go higher on the longer term. Aluminum still at resistance, up a little bit, but right at that resistance support level. We've got nickel down just a little bit. Looks like a potential double bottom, and it looks like we're coming back towards the bottom of that double bottom. Moon down 1.22. It's a small selling pressure day. There we are. We still have downside momentum here, but that still looks good to go higher on the longer term. We are above support. We've broken out of this to the upside, falling on small little candlesticks. That generally resolves itself upward. Emerging markets down a little bit, breaking out of its falling wedge. Still looks good to go higher. We're looking for a weaker dollar to push that. Weaker dollar comes with weaker yields and bond prices going up. KRE right at support. Support resistance, still looking all right. We've got TAN down a little bit. Doesn't like we had yields up. No, we had yields down today. Yeah, it was down today. We had lithium down 1.6. Really much to say here. It's been very volatile going up and down here recently with all the short squeezing and stuff going on. REMX doing the same thing. They still look okay. I mean, this isn't a great entry point. It doesn't really look like much of anything, but sometimes you get stuck at these spots here, and then you get stuck above or below it. So that is apparent in both lithium and REMX. Baltic Dry Index still heading lower, and I do think this is going to be an opportunity whenever it bottoms here to potentially get some cheap shares in dry bulk. XHB heading a little bit lower. I know DHI came out, said that affordability is impacting their sales. And that, with rates where they're at, it's going to impact it. Now, if rates fall, this would be one to watch to see what happens when rates fall. Russell 2000, it's still hanging in there above support. Still looking. That generally resolves higher. The S&P 500 continuing its march higher by 0.16 today, and we'll see where this goes. Looks a little bit jiggy up here. NASDAQ also heading higher. AI for life, guys. AI for life. So it's working its way on up. We've got SMCI up a little bit, right up against that resistance line. We'll see if we can break out of that channel. Coming off a pretty big pullback. NVIDIA still going up a little bit, 0.52%, and still looks good. Has upside momentum. Bitcoin breaking its pattern, and we'll see if this thing sticks and runs. But it's broken the huge flag pattern that we've got to the upside, so that looks pretty good. Ethereum also heading higher, following Bitcoin to the upside. It looks okay. We've got a little bit of selling pressure here with that wick. This still has some selling pressure in this stock, and it's still in this big pattern, just chopping sideways. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. We've got, this week, it would be the Sunday question and answer session at 5 p.m. Mayday coupon code is still active if you guys like to join. And we look at all these potential investment opportunities across all these sectors. Right now, what looks pretty strong? Gold and silver. Platinum's breaking out too. That looks pretty dang good. But that's what I've got for today. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.